Just one game on the schedule tonight in ACC basketball on the men's side, and it's here at Chestnut Hill tonight as Boston College returns home, a game below 500 and 6-8 in the ACC to meet an NC State team that has won 2 straight and has a 4-3 record on the road in the ACC. And one quick check of the standings shows you home teams have dominated conference play this week, going 10-3. The biggest beneficiary is Duke, and the toughest loser so far has been 2 losses for Louisville at Georgia Tech and yesterday at Clemson. Great to be with Malcolm Huckabee, West Durham. Welcome courtside at Conte Forum, where tonight we get the advantage of seeing what Kevin Keats calls a real throwback, and that's his big man, Manny Bates.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that impacts the game with his defense. He's one of the premier shot blockers in all of college basketball. Right now, he leads the ACC, 3 blocks per game, 9th in the nation. He is a guy that's going to have a huge impact on this game tonight.
Bates, by the way, doesn't put up great numbers in terms of points, but does a really good job rebounding. And in 20 of his 22 games this year, he's blocked 2 or more shots. And Boston College has made a change in their lineup for the first time since early December in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Big 6'11" senior Nick Popovich is in the lineup for Jim Christian's team, who's trying to rebound after a tough loss at Miami Wednesday night. And of course, NC State, a 5-point winner at Syracuse on Tuesday night. The Wolfpack gets the ball here first. Markel Johnson runs the offense for Kevin Keats, now in year 3 in Raleigh. C.J. Bryce has been on a tear in this last stretch for the Wolfpack as well. Thornton pressures Daniels. Here's the lob and the catch by Thunderberg. Bates the early rebound and the stick back for Manny Bates.
Well, we talked about his shot blocking. He also is excellent on the offensive glass, using his length and athleticism. That's a nice offensive rebound putback for Manny Bates.
This is a big ball game in terms of the transitional nature of the ACC standings, but it might be a bigger ball game for NC State in their March future beyond the ACC tournament. There's Popovich on the board, their best shooter from the floor at 47%.
And that's a nice pass by Jay Heath. Popovich with the nice soft touch. And speaking with Coach Jim Christian before this game, he said, look, the play of our backcourt against NC State is going to be huge in this game. In particular, they must take care of the ball.
Tried the backdoor lob to Bates. Popovich cleans it up on the baseline. Here's BC front court quickly under the guidance of the grad transfer, Derek Thornton. And right back to Popovich, who spins through Bates and then turned it over to Thunderberg.
Wes, that's a number we're going to watch throughout this game, turnovers. NC State, one of the better teams at turning you over with their activity in the passing lanes.
Well, here's Bryce working on Thornton. Fall away. C.J. Bryce on the board, and Malcolm, his last 3 games, averaging almost 19 points, 7 rebounds, 51% from the floor. He's done all you could ask for.
And there's nothing you can do right there. That's not bad D by Derek Thornton. That's just a guy that's on fire with a beautiful turnaround jumper.
Here's Thornton trying to answer, and does with a triple out of the corner. Just 2 of 11 the other night in the loss at Miami. Thornton hits his 21st 3 of the year. By the way, he had only been 4 of his last 23 from behind the line until he knocked that one down. Thunderberg, front rim miss. Bryce the offensive chance. That got poked away by Thornton. All the way to the basket, blocked off the window by Johnson, and Thornton's got 5 of Boston College's first 7.
Well, I like the aggression by Derek Thornton. Try to get out before that NC State defense can get set up. This is just great individual play defensively by Derek Thornton. Again, pushing the pace, and really not a good play that time, though, by Johnson. Did not look like that ball was going to go in. And nonetheless, Boston College with a deuce.
BC's really extended their pressure here early out of the man-to-man. Markel Johnson working against Thornton. Here's Bryce again. This time the freshman Heath trying to defend him. And quickly BC into transition. Out front, Popovich. That ball got poked away. Look at Johnson fight Thornton for it. And Derek Thornton saves it in the backcourt. 15 to shoot. Heath a 3. Got it. Big basket for Jay Heath. When he plays well, the Eagles play well.
Yeah, and that's a tough break for NC State. Looked like Johnson was going to get a steal, and Good recovery by Thornton and a heads-up play to get it up to Heath. And you're right, he is an X factor for Boston College. When he tends to play well, and we're going to get into that number a little later, Boston College tends to play in the winning column.
3.5 minutes gone. Eagles have built an early 6-point lead here. Daniels, baseline. And Bryce battling for it, pulls it away from Thornton. Here's Funderburk at the foul line. Rebound for Hamilton. Front court comes Derek Thornton. Boston College is perfect from the floor early. Thornton trying to keep the streak alive. Cannot. But they'll get a reset, and he'll try a new streak. Early 6-point lead. Daniels left open. And Popovich battled Bates, who touched it last, and that'll get us to a timeout. Well, Manny Bates has got one of the 2 Wolfpack field goals, but NC State trails 6. We're going to find out that the big man from Fayetteville, North Carolina, has got some talent on the floor and a bunch of it, too, off the court. Grab a snack. Early lead for Boston College, 10-6. Malcolm, we talked with Kevin Keats. He tells us that Manny Bates is almost like a throwback. He leads the league in blocks. We found out some stuff today. This guy's got more talent off the floor as well.
Yeah, always amazed when we ask these young men, tell us something about us, about yourself that we don't know. And Manny Bates said, I'm an artist. And he showed us some of his work. As you take a look at that last one there, that's tattooed on his chest. He said, it was my first tattoo, and he wanted something that involved my goal of playing basketball at the highest level. Since he had that chase as a young kid, he used the clouds. And you see there's clouds on his chest to make it more dreamlike. And I can tell you right now, that young man is not only talented on the court, but off the court. That's some work that I would buy. That looks like stuff that you would see in an art gallery, and really an amazing story.
The stuff he did with the pencils, really incredible. And we appreciate Manny Bates sharing it with us earlier today. And you saw the giveaway by BC, who moved on the inbounds pass. State couldn't convert, miss at the other end, and here we are in the Wolfpack again. Kind of a frustrating start for a team that has won 2 straight on the road here.
Yeah, and this is one they have to have. We talked to Coach Kevin Keats at shoot-around this morning, and you know, look, they've been kind of up and down, but they really control their own destiny. It starts tonight on the road against Boston College. There is really a small room for error for them. This is one they have to have.
Jericho Helms, the sophomore from St. Louis, commits the foul. It'll be his first. And it's the first on NC State. There are a lot of things about where the Wolfpack find themselves right now, especially the opportunities in front of them. But in the details of wins, you need tonight. Not make or break by any stretch, but certainly one you would like to have in the left rather than the right column. There's a fall away by Hamilton. By the way, Jarius's older brother, Jared, will not play tonight. He's in street clothes on the BC bench, missing another ball game. Didn't play the other night at Miami. In fact, did not make the trip along with Chris Herron as well. And before the knockdown, we get a foul, and it will be on Boston College's C.J. Felder, his first. You get a look at Jim Christian, who, by the way, had a birthday about 10 days ago, turned 55, native of Bethpage, New York.
And he and his staff have done a nice job, again, I think, finding some hidden gems. Jay Heath has turned into a really good bright spot, playing that point guard position for Jim Christian and staff.
Yep, and Heath commits the foul on the back out underneath. Kip Kissinger, who works tonight with Jeff Clark, and also Tim Clockerty on the foul against Boston College, which is their second. And here's Bryce to work again on Heath. He can win that matchup, it looks like, Malcolm.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing. He's using his size. They're isolating him, trying to see if Boston College doubles. That time, though, pretty good defense by Thornton.
Wolfpack's missed 10 shots in a row, though, from the floor. That's why they trail by 6. Mitchell. There's the feed. Felder to the rack. Can't finish it. Pulled away by Daniels. Lob, catch, Bryce the layup. C.J. Bryce has got his second field goal and 4 of NC State's 6.
That's a beautiful play by Daniels. Heads up, unselfish, and then the lob was perfect for Bryce.
Heath with Helms defending. Now Mitchell working against Braxton Beverly and goes right to the dribble. And 1. Nope, offensive foul, says Tim Clougherty. So it'll be an offensive foul on Stephon Mitchell, his first, the 3rd on Boston College.
Well, I like the idea by Boston College. Mitchell clearly has, yeah, I mean, he got him up there. I mean, look, he had the elbow up. That's a smaller guy, but that's when they has to call. Again, he's got an elbow in the guy's face. He's trying to clear space, and anytime you make that type of contact, and I think they're going to call that, but certainly a tough break for Boston College.
Helms out of the corner. Jericho went for 10 the other night in the win at Syracuse. Has missed his first couple of shots here tonight. Boston College by 4. And Mitchell had it poked away by Johnson. Nice pass. Felder the dunk off the baseline. Good look by Stephon Mitchell.
And both teams are now trying to play the matchups. Earlier on, NC State, C.J. Bryce trying to use his size. That time, Mitchell, clear size advantage, excellent patience, and then the dump ball pass for the dunk.
Mitchell Johnson's going to be called for the travel. Markell went up in the air and then was trying to find an open teammate and hit the ground, and all of a sudden nobody was around. And here's the pass.
Yeah, this right here, heads up play by Mitchell. Again, waiting for the double team, pinpoint passing, and then Felder with the finish.
Yep.
Excellent offensive execution by Boston College.
Kamari Williams has come on, Malcolm, and his minutes have expanded here in the last couple of ball games as well for BC. Here's Williams. Back for Thornton as BC's doubled the number on NC State with almost 8 minutes gone, and now Heath bangs home a triple. He's got 6.
Well, early on, we talked about turnovers for Boston College, and then they're running their offense. They're getting some wide open looks.
Helms the spot and catch. Jericho Helms now with his first basket.
Markell Johnson, one of the lead assist guys in the ACC. That's a beautiful play. Draw to D and then kick it out. There was nobody within 5 feet of him.
Ten to shoot, and Thornton on the bounce. All the way in will draw the foul. I think that's Markell Johnson. It will be his first. And a couple of free throws on NC State's second team foul.
Well, right here, again, this is what Boston College has done early on in this game. They're getting some nice looks. That time, Derek Thornton with the unselfish play, dribble penetration, breaks down your D, and then the kick back out for Heath for the wide open 3.
First free throws of the game for Thornton, who is 10th best in the ACC at 76%. You see Bryce and Bates in for Funderburk and Markell Johnson, and Kevin Keats' lineup. Julian Rishwain, the freshman from Sherman Oaks, California, has checked into the lineup as well for Boston College for the first time as Thornton hits both. And Derek Thornton, who's been double figures in 4 of the last 5 games, has got 7 of BC's 17 here and posted them to a 9-point lead. Daniels, bounce pass in tight. Helms is fouled from behind. Jeff Clark on the whistle, I believe, against Mitchell. And it is on Stephon Mitchell, his second, 4th on BC. Timeout here at Conte Forum. 9-point lead for the Eagles. ACC Network Basketball is brought to you by Farm Rich. Are you hungry? Grab a snack. Well, back here on a beautiful Sunday night in Boston with Malcolm Huckabee, West Durham. ACC Network Basketball in BC leading NC State by 9. And Kevin Keats comes here to Chestnut Hill this evening, Malcolm. 1 below 500 on the road in the ACC in 3 years. We told you they've won 2 straight road games. They got 4 ACC wins this year already on the road. And all of that has amounted to a very important next two and a half, 3 weeks for NC State here. Joe Lunardi has them in the precarious first 4 out category. Hellam's got 1 of 2, by the way. So now Kevin Keats told us, and I thought he was very candid. Hey, look, we don't talk about it as a team. He goes, you guys do, that's part of what you do. He said, and I know that we've got opportunities, and he's talking about 2 games with Duke and 1 with Florida State coming up. Well, he also has to hope like things happen other places, like Iowa beating Minnesota today. Maybe Cal gets Arizona State tonight on the West Coast. Things like that help NC State.
Yeah, it does, and I think that first 4 in, first 4 out, those teams are going to continue to be changing.
Volatile.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, look, I go back to my playing days. Never once did our coaches talk to us about that type stuff.
Right.
We never thought about it. You were just focused on your next game, your opponent in front of you, and then that's it. And then you move on to the after the game, and I think that's the approach Coach Keats and any coach would tell you that they want to take with their players.
They know players know things. I mean, especially today, right? Here's Rishwain trying to get BC back on track and turned it over, trying to bounce it to Kamari Williams. So it's an 8-point lead here for the Eagles, and a little bit of a sluggish start perhaps for the Wolfpack, who went through an early drought of missed shots, while BC started 4 for 4 from the floor. Braxton Beverly, Boston College had him at the top of the scouting report. He's been a thorn in the Eagles' side in the last couple of years.
Well, if I'm NC State, I'm going to go back to that C.J. Bryce matchup. I think that's the one that they need to exploit. Right now, Boston College doing a nice job keeping them off of the offensive glass. Really nobody crashing that last possession for NC State.
Look at Heath trying to get it front court. Here's Rishwain. Jarius Hamilton, the sophomore, and now Popovich starting tonight for the first time in more than 2 months. And he misses with the skyhook. And that was the skyhook, kids. Here's Bryce spotting for 3. Backside a rebound for Rishwain. Now Heath. Way off. Daniels collects the air ball. I think Heath knew it as soon as he cut it loose, Malcolm.
Yeah, that's when you don't even need to look over at the bench. You know what he's saying. That's really not a good shot.
Tapped home by Bates. BC bench wanted basket interference. Manny Bates, a couple of field goals here in the first half.
Yeah, and that's twice now. He's been on the offensive glass. Nice work that time, using his length to put one back in for NC State.
Popovich all the way to the rack and one. Bates will draw the foul. It'll be the 3rd on the Wolfpack. And Nick Popovich, who's been banged up a little bit during the course of the season, gets a nice basket here.
Yeah, and that's one right there. That's how you want to attack a shot blocker. But on the previous play right there, look at the length by Bates and the timing. Excellent touch. But back to Popovich. Completes the 3-point play. Anytime you're going up against a shot blocker, if you try to fade away, they're going to get your hands on it. You got to try to get into their body, like Popovich did right there. Try to get it up over their length.
So Luka Kraljevic, who did not play at Miami, was scoreless in 6 minutes at Virginia Tech a week ago, and an overtime win for the Eagles has come on now with changes all around, and Helms buries a 3 out of the corner. Jericho Helms now 27 threes on the year.
That's all set up again by C.J. Bryce. Really, that's just a beautiful play. Break down the D, draw the defense, and then kick it out. BC's got to do a better job not getting broken down off the dribble penetration.
First 3 of the night for the Wolfpack, draws them to within 6 again. Heath, a runner, tough shot, and the freshman now has 8 in the first half. Couple of threes and a 2-point field goal. The lead 8 for Boston College. We played 11 minutes of the first half. Bryce working on the taller Kraljevic. Spins in traffic, skips for Helms. Daniels attacks. Beverly the catch and shoot. And Bryce couldn't contain it over the inline, last touch by the Wolfpack. Well, good ball movement here, but Boy, he's off to a good start.
Yeah, that's just a tough move by the freshman. I mean, take the hit, body control, going away from the basket, little floater. That's excellent concentration and touch.
And of course, Jay Heath, we've told you, averaging 12.5 points a game. You see the note at the bottom, when he gets 15 or more, BC's won 7 of the 9 times it's happened. And Derek Thornton on the drive. Another good guy off to a start tonight for Boston College. He's got 10 now.
Coach Christian talked about, in order for us to beat NC State, those 2 guys in particular are going to have a solid night. Heath and also Thornton.
I said Thornton had 10. He has 9. The miss at the other end by Hamilton. Look at Hamilton burrow his way through underneath and get his first basket.
Yeah, Coach Keats wanted a offensive foul called. Felt like Hamilton was throwing the elbows.
Lead is 12 for Boston College. Biggest of the night for Jim Christian's team. And Kip Kissinger spots a foul. It's on Kraljevic, and that will get us to a timeout. 5 on BC, but right now the guards have the advantage. Thornton and Heath have carried BC to the lead. Well, more basketball Tuesday night presented by Geico. We'll head to Tallahassee. Number 8 Florida State, coming off the win over Syracuse yesterday, welcomes Pittsburgh to the Tucker Center. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, Katie George will be there. 7 o'clock. Basketball presented by Geico here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. And the Noles are a team that, despite the loss Monday night, Joe Lunardi has them as a 3 seed. They were gutty yesterday against the Orange, Malcolm.
Yeah, you know, Leonard Hamilton, I can't say it enough. For me, he is just so underrated. What he's been able to do with Florida State, they're a program. I mean, that's it. I mean, he's got his system down, and they are very tough, very well coached. And, you know, a team like Pittsburgh, though, has an opportunity, as we take a look at another drive by NC State, has an opportunity to move up in the rankings in the ACC and potentially maybe go on a little run in the ACC tournament.
You got a kettle of folks with 7 wins and another kettle with 6 right now. There's a guy I work with calls it a glob. There's Popovich, and that is a 2 for Nick Popovich. 7 for the senior from Bosnia and Herzegovina. BC's hit 5 in a row now. Remember, they started with a 4-shot streak at the front of the game, and there's a foul from behind on Heath, and Bryce beat him on the dribble.
And what Boston College is doing right now, they're not giving up points off of turnovers. Right now in the game, NC State only 2 points off of turnovers. Remember, Wes, that was a key coming into this. We talked about it, NC State's ability to turn you over and then get out in transition and create offense off of those turnovers. I think Boston College right now in the first half has done a good job taking care of the ball.
C.J. Bryce to the line. He's 78% on the year. And the first one is good. I had a real chance to visit with him the other day. I thought that the other night he hit that 3 in the first half at Syracuse, and that looked like the C.J. Bryce from a season ago. And you see substitutions for BC, and I asked him, I said, you know, you all the way back? He said, sure. He said, but I got to be honest with you. He said, this is a little more than I thought it was. He said, you hear concussion, and you've never really had one, and then when you have one, he said, it's not just going through that process, it's then coming back to what amounts to normal activity. Well, I think he's back to normal activity based on recent performances.
Yeah, and it's scary. You know, Coach Keats talked about, he said he feels like he's back being comfortable on the court, and you're right. You talked to him about it. It's really some scary stuff dealing with that concussion protocol.
Yep. Rishwain, here's Thornton. Long 3, Derek Thornton. Funderburk, the nice box out of Popovich.
And Wes, I like the change up by Coach Keats. That time they went to a 3-2 matchup zone, and you know, he talked about that in shoot-around. He said, look, Boston College runs a lot of actions where teams have to go to zone because they're getting some open looks. And, you know, early on in this game, you can see this lead by Boston College. They're getting open looks. So, again, good change-up by Coach Keats going to that 3-2 matchup zone.
7th foul on Boston College comes with 6:10 to play. 1-1 the rest of the first half for NC State. And here's Devin Daniels, 68% at the free throw line, who is scoreless so far tonight. 10-point lead for the Eagles. And the first one good. Don't forget Thursday night's Ladies Night on ACC Network. A doubleheader of women's basketball comes your way. Pam Ward, Debbie Antonelli will be at the Dome for Syracuse and Clemson. And then Wes Moore and NC State, who've lost to Louisville and today to Nell Fortner and Georgia Tech, are in Miami. Jen Hildreth, LaChana Robinson will be there for our coverage here on ACC Network. 9-point game as Daniels got one of the two. A little pressure offered by the Wolfpack. Hamilton tries to break it with the jumper.
That's twice now. NC State has changed up, giving BC a different look on offense, and then Devin Daniels continues to force him into the basket. That's a beautiful runner going away from the ball, but I like the change. Now they're going a little three-quarter court pressure, and it really has slowed Boston College down these last two possessions.
Rishwain, now here's Felder, the young freshman. And Thornton. 10 to shoot, and here's Rishwain. Tried to split the front, turned it over. Daniels with Hamilton chasing will set it down. Devin Daniels with 5 in a row for the Wolfpack. State to within 5.
About the 7-minute mark, the change of defenses by Coach Keats really has changed the momentum in this game.
Lead's been as big as 12 for Boston College in the first half. Felder at the other end.
Wow, I think we might have one right there. That could show up on the top 10. That's beautiful offense. Nice pass that time by Popovich, and then C.J. Felder. Man, he was up high for that one.
They tried to bounce it to Funderburk, turned over by Helms and the Wolfpack. 7-point game. Thornton looking for more. Here's Hamilton on the cut and score. 4 for Hamilton and a Wolfpack timeout. 4:34 to go here in this first half, and every time it seems like NC State's drawing close, BC runs out for more. Eagles by 9 when we continue. Well, Malcolm, the sophomore from Charlotte, Jarius Hamilton's got 4 points, the latest on the cut off the baseline to push this BC advantage back to 9.
Yeah, really had a really nice answer when NC State looked like they were going to be on a run. And now Boston College, it changes up their defense, and they're going to a little matchup zone.
Helms, foul line jumper. Jericho Helms has 8 here in the first half. The sophomore from Chaminade in St. Louis. Feed to Felder, knocked away. Look at Beverly scoop it up. Here's Helms, 3-on-1, feeds Daniels for the layup. Oh, Devin Daniels has got him in bunches, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you can't run the fast break any better that time. NC State off of the turnover. That's pretty basketball and unselfish.
5-point game. 32-27 Boston College. Coverage continues in a moment. Well, we talked about the guards for BC. They're making it count tonight, Malcolm.
Yeah, they've had a really good start for Boston College right there. Jay Heath, beautiful dribble drive pick. And then in transition, Derek Thornton, heads up play. I think this right here has been key. Their ability to break down the NC State defense and then get into the paint and either provide good scoring opportunities for their teammates or themselves. You take a look at these numbers right here. 9 and 8 for Jay Heath, but I think the other key number for them, Wes, only 1 turnover amongst the 2 of those guards.
And NC State likes to force them. When they force a big number, typically they have success. They trail, though, by 5. Under 4 to go here first half. Heath tries to ring the bell from deep, and Daniels the rebound.
And the 3-2 matchup zone has been the best defense for NC State and really has changed the momentum in this game. Gotten NC State back within single digits.
State's hit their last 5 shots from the floor, and Daniels in particular has been very effective. Helms ends the streak with a missed 3. And Tim Clockerty whistled DJ Funderburk headed toward the Wolfpack bench, hobbling a little bit. That'll bring Manny Bates back onto the floor for Coach Keats. And Ron Cooper is the new Wolfpack basketball trainer in his first year. And he'll keep an eye on Funderburk as he tries to walk it off over there on the bench. Here's that zone again, Malcolm.
Yeah, and they're active in it. Again, the guys up top, C.J. Bryce right now at the top of that 3-2 zone, but they will still try to get their hands in the passing lane. And if you're Boston College, obviously you have to be mindful of any turnovers.
Lefty three, Mitchell knocks it down. Remember, Stephon Mitchell's playing with 2 fouls. His 11th 3 of the year is his first points tonight, and the advantage goes back to 8 for the Eagles. Daniels kicks for Helms. Jericho skips for Daniels. Here's Beverly left open left corner. And he can't buy it, and a whistle and foul underneath as Mitchell got knocked to the deck. And it's going to be on Jericho Helms. It'll be his second.
Well, you can't ask for a more wide open look off of excellent ball movements. And man, yeah, that's right in front of the ref.
That looks like something that Jerry York's team might have done in here last night on the ice.
Little hip check.
A little check in front of the net. Wolfpack staying in that zone. One of the things helping Boston College is they've got 4 threes. They only average 6.5 a game. There's Hamilton trying to make it 5, and he does. 7 for Hamilton. And the lead 11.
Well, Hamilton came into this game 27% from the three-point line, so really, you know, if you're NC State, you got to live with that in the zone.
Helms and the foul. Well, I'll ask you this: for a group that hits 6.5 threes a ball game, Malcolm, are you? And by the way, they are 14th in the ACC in three-point field goal percentage in conference play. Are you willing to live and die out there tonight?
Well, I think the key thing in this is that they're uncontested threes, Wes. So the previous one, Stephon Mitchell, they're really, it's off of excellent ball movement or dribble penetration. So you can live with contested threes, but that right there, I think, is just really too much airspace.
Don't forget, after the ball game tonight, nothing but net. Kelsey Riggs, Dowling Cuff, Luke Hancock, Carlos Boozer in studio tonight to look back at the week gone by and preview what's ahead with inside analysis and more. It follows our coverage here tonight from Chestnut Hill on ACC Network. So Jericho Helms is 3 for 4 at the line. By the way, the foul a moment ago was on Stephon Mitchell, so he has 3 in this first half with 90 seconds and change to go. Heath can't find it on the slash to the basket. Here's Bryce and the Pack trailing 9. They lob and catch for Bates. Half dozen for Manny Bates in the first half.
And that's twice now we've seen the NC State guards make excellent decisions in transition. Beautiful lob pass that time by Daniels to Bates.
7-point game with 70 seconds to go, and a foul is called on Bryce. It'll be the first on Bryce and 5 on the Wolfpack.
And this right here, though, excellent transition offense. Daniels with the beautiful touch pass. Poor transition D by Boston College. And again, another heads up play and pinpoint passing.
Yep. Heath. Now Thornton. Working off the Popovich screen. Left it on the ground. Here's Bryce with the takeaway. Kamari Williams with him, but Bryce will score. 8 for Bryce. And a BC timeout with under a minute to go, and it's right back down to 5 again.
Yeah, just when we were talking about how the BC guards did not turn the ball over in this stretch right here, again, you cannot turn the ball over against NC State. They do an excellent job being active in the passing lanes. That time Thornton tries to split, and then C.J. Bryce. This is just another beautiful finish, body control, left hand off the glass, and critical stretch for Boston College right here. It looked like they might have been able to extend it to double digits before going into half. 5-point ball game.
Well, and when you talk about the Wolfpack, we mentioned it earlier, a critical piece of their schedule. Twice they play Duke in 12 days. They get Florida State, the rematch with North Carolina, and Pittsburgh comes to Raleigh. I mean, all these games are big, but the 2 with Duke and the 1 with Florida State in 6 days, they kind of pop off the page here.
That is really, I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but that is a tough stretch right there for them. But obviously they're in a fight right now on the road versus Boston College.
Down 5, Thornton on the drive, and will draw the foul on Bates, and that'll be his second. 6 on the Wolfpack with 51.6 to play in this first half. And that will put Thornton to the line, where he is 2 for 2 and has 9 first half points.
I feel like Thornton has played a really excellent floor game for Boston College in his first half. I felt he's obviously scored points for them, but I think the key thing is he's taking care of the ball, but he's set his teammates up for some quality looks.
TJ Funderburk going to get back in to spell Manny Bates here. And Funderburk looks to be okay. Remember, we told you he hobbled off a moment ago. So here's Thornton with 10 now, double figures for the 5th time in 6 games, make it 11 as he hits both free throws. He leads BC in scoring. C.J. Bryce going to bring it front court. A couple of possessions probably left in this half, and Boston College leads 7. Off the screen by Funderburk, here's Daniels lobbing, and it got deflected. Popovich. What do the Eagles have in the final 31 seconds? They've got Rishwain on the right wing. Popovich thought about it. Puts it on the ground, off the glass, rebound Daniels. State can hold for one, and it looks like that's what Kevin Keats wants here with 15 seconds to go.
Well, if I'm NC State, I'm looking at that C.J. Bryce matchup, see if you can get him isolated.
Daniels into traffic, bodies hit the deck, no whistle, and the horn will sound, and Boston College is going to take a 40-33 lead to the locker room. Eagles got off to a hot start. Malcolm made it stick.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously if you're NC State, that could have been double digits. They did a nice job hanging around, cut it to single digits. Obviously, though, if you're Boston College, you have to feel good going into the half with a 7-point lead.
Eagles shot 56%, NC State 39% from the floor in the first half. ACC Studio on the other side of the break. Kelsey Riggs, Luke Hancock, Carlos Boozer, and Dallin Cuff standing by.
Welcome into this ACC Network halftime report alongside Luke Hancock, Dallin Cuff, and Carlos Boozer. I'm Kelsey Riggs. Right now, NC State trailing Boston College 40-33 on the road, just a few weeks before we start talking March Madness and really get into the tournament. Right now, NC State, guys, a team that is on the bubble and still has some big games left, Dallin, but it seems like this is a game that you don't want to lose to stay in that conversation.
You can't lose it. It's a road game. We all know how hard it is to still win road games in this conference, but in terms of the numbers, you have to beat BC if you want to remain on the right side of the bubble, which right now they're not. They're according to Joe Lunardi, they're the first team out. They got to win this game, and they have big opportunities coming up. They got Duke and Florida State, the next 2 games, both on their floor in Raleigh. If you win those, that really changes the discussion. Plus, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, like today.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they get the 2 wins, if they finish out this game, get this win, they win one of those 2 games at home coming up against really good competition, they'll probably get in. They're on that bubble. They're like the 1 team out. But they got to beat the team they're supposed to beat, like you said.
We're 3 weeks from Selection Sunday, by the way, which is crazy. It's like,
right?
it's that close.
Yeah, it's not that they want to win this game. It's that they have to win this game. Their season reminds me a lot of last year, having one big marquee win last year in that Auburn game. This year, Wisconsin is that big win, and I know NC State is rooting on those guys to do well through the rest of the season, but you're right. They have to take advantage of the opportunities they have left, and you just can't lose to the teams you're not supposed to at this point in the season. If you lose to the bottom half of the ACC, their hopes are going to go.
Well, tonight they might want to guard Heath and Thornton a little bit more in the half court. Let's just start there. If they do that, they'll have a better chance of winning this game.
It was just sloppy early, wasn't it?
It's tough. And then their changing defenses has affected the game and helped them a little bit, and BC's turning it over more helps them, but it's a big game.
When I went to media day with NC State, I talked with a lot of the assistant coaches and people around the program, and they were wanting Coach Keats to put more of the zone in. I'm surprised it took this long for him to get it done, but it did frustrate Boston College and slow them down just a little bit. But the hot start is what Boston College is riding right now. NC State's got to respond, and really, you just got to start finishing shots. They've had open looks, they've gotten to the rim, missed some chippies. You just got to start executing at a higher level.
Anything can happen right down to the very last second. We saw that yesterday. We will see what happens in the second half of this game if Boston College is able to keep it up. If Derek Thornton can knock down a few more threes, already has 2 in the first half as Boston College has a 7-point lead. Kelly's at studio, but Kelly's not in studio because Kelly was on the road, but she will be with us a little later. But right now, we're going to get you back out to the game. Boston College on top by 7.
Well, we get ready to go with the second half from Chestnut Hill. ACC Network coverage of basketball. BC leading NC State 40-33. Great to be with Malcolm Huckabee. We talked about guards at the top, and that's the way BC's taken this advantage.
Yeah, they really have. We talked about the numbers for Boston College. They're 7-2 when Jay Heath scores 15 points or more. He's got 8 in the first half right there, though. Beautiful execution in the half-court offense. Dribble, drive, kick out, in transition right there. Derek Thornton head up, get it ahead to Jay Heath. And then they've been able to break down the NC State defense. Another open look for Jay Heath. I think the key number for these two guys to go along with the points, 2 combined turnovers in that first half. They've done a nice job creating offense for themselves and for others and taking care of the ball.
Well, it's interesting. We sent you to the studio at the half telling you BC had shot 56% from the floor. That matches their best shooting half in ACC play. They did it in the first half against Notre Dame. It's only the second time shooting 50% in any half in ACC play. So NC State, however, can't say that. They started cold, finished hot. Can they get that back from the locker room might be the question Kevin Keats is asking.
Yeah, and I think the change of defense really was huge for them late in the second half. I think the number that needs to go up, though, 9% in that first half from the three-point line, 1 of 11.
Markel Johnson only played 6 minutes. It wasn't foul trouble. He came up with an assist and 3 turnovers, and there's a throwaway by Daniels to start the half. And that's not what the third-year coach of the Wolfpack wanted across the way. And there's a drive and bucket for Thornton, who now has 13 for the Eagles, and the lead back to 9.
Well, interesting thing, Thornton's right-handed, but he's really comfortable finishing around the basket with his left hand.
Manny Bates cleans up. Seems like all 4 points are on stickbacks, or all 4 field goals are on stickback, Malcolm.
And that's what he does.
There's Johnson, a steal. Markel will go to the basket and set down his first points. He's 3rd in the ACC in steals, 2nd in steals in conference play. And that's 4 in a row for State.
And he is the guy. I think he is the X factor for NC State. You talked about it, 0 points in the first half, really a non-factor. That's what they need more of him. Getting out in the passing lanes. You take a look at the foul there by Johnson. But again, he's a guy that they need his production right here. Again, careless pass by Heath and then easy deuce for Markel Johnson. They need his offensive production.
Minute and change gone, second half, 5-point game. After 4 in a row by the Wolfpack. Popovich working with Bates on the defensive side. There's Heath. How did he squeeze that through traffic? 10 for Heath on his 4th field goal.
I'm not sure how he got that one to go. I mean, that's really pretty good defense by NC State. That's basically a blind shot by Heath. I'm not sure he was looking at the rim with 2 guys on him.
9 straight games in double figures for Heath. One of the top 5 freshman scorers in the ACC. Here's Bryce working against Heath off the glass. Easy money for C.J. Bryce, who now has 10.
And if I'm NC State, I'm just going at C.J. Bryce. Again, right now, the Boston College guards really are too small to guard him when he gets down low in the post. And he's had some really good looks.
Bates blocks that offer by Thornton. It'll stay with the Eagles. In a 5-point game. First block of the night for Manny Bates.
And this right here, again, little curl screen by Heath. Again, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, he got his eyes on the rim, but that's a tough shot.
Come on, it's got to make the former guard for the Eagles proud here now. I mean, when you see your man Heath squeeze through traffic like that. 3 out of the corner. They're going to look at that. They're going to call it a 2, but they want to look at it. So we'll leave it as a 2 right now, and the lead back to 7, where it was at the break. Bryce to answer. Strong on the three. Here is Hamilton now off the lead from Heath. $18 to shoot. Popovich turns over the top of Bates. And the rebound pulled down by Johnson. Remember, Mitchell playing with 3 fouls. He'll have to be particularly careful on the loose balls.
Although Bates may not get a block for that last possession, it might as well call it.
Good screen by Manny Bates. Johnson goes all the way into traffic. Offensive foul. That'll be 3 on Markel Johnson. 2 here in the half. Both belong to the young man from Cleveland.
Yeah, right here, heads up play by Hamilton, and yeah, that's an easy call to make. He was sitting right there, and then Heath off the inbounds play. Yeah, foot clearly on the line.
Here's Mitchell, Burke, all the way through, bodies down, no whistle, State with it, look away, bounce pass to Bryce. That was pretty for Markel Johnson.
And that's what they need from him. Again, the consistency. Previous play charge that time. Heads up play. Nice little bounce pass. But right now, NC State doing a nice job. This thing at 5 for them. And I think a big reason, their defense. They're creating a lot of offense with excellent defense.
8 to shoot. Popovich!
Well, that's
9
how you
for the big fella.
Well, that's how you attack the leading shot blocker in the ACC.
Beverly tried to thread it back to Bates. It got kicked. They'll put the shot clock to 20 on the flush by Popovich.
Well, right here, a little jab, and then when you're going up against the leading shot blocker in the ACC, don't lay it up, throw it down. Nick Popovich with the beautiful move and finish.
Nico sits down, and C.J. Felder has checked in. The lead is 7. Markel Johnson tried to lay it up there for Funderburk, and a foul called. And we're going to get a break here. They're checking to see if there'll be free throws or if we'll have a spot throw in. We'll tell you about that. They'll check on the 3-shot as well from Heath, but going to break. The big man from Bosnia with the hammer. Back to Chestnut Hill in a moment. ACC Network Basketball is brought to you by Zaxby's. Hand-breaded chicken and fresh ingredients made to order only at Zaxby's. 48-41, BC a 7-point advantage. We went to break without telling you about the 4th foul on Stephon Mitchell. Identified the violation, but it was the 4th on Mitchell, and that's going to be a hurdle for Jim Christian's team to crawl over. Here's Beverly, who is scoreless tonight, missing from the perimeter. And Thornton, turning it into a one-man fast break, draws a foul on Markel Johnson, and that's his 4th. So Mitchell with 4, and now Markel Johnson, the senior from Cleveland, draws his 4th for NC State.
Yeah, and good job by Thornton pushing the pace off of the miss. And now NC State 1 of 13 in that previous play, though. Got to take a look at the 4th foul that time by Stephon Mitchell, the clear hold right in front of the referee. So that's huge, as you said, for Boston College, having their leading rebounder on the bench.
So Thornton hit the 1st, hit the 2nd. Derek Thornton's got 15 now in the ball game. 9-point advantage. And Jeff Clark has just whistled a foul on C.J. Felder. He and locked up right around the foul line area. So the freshman from Sumter, South Carolina, who's averaging almost 7 points, go 4.5 rebounds in conference play, has picked up his 2nd. And the 2nd on the Eagles in the half. And offensive foul is going to be the call on DJ Funderburk. That'll be his 1st. 4 on NC State.
But they're trying to get Ike right there. And yeah, pretty good defense by Popovich. And recovery. Looked like Funderburk had a clear lane.
9-point lead. Almost 5 minutes gone, second half. A lot at stake tonight, really, for both schools, but maybe in particular for NC State. There's Popovich, a little jump hook with the right hand. 3 double-figure games now in the last 5 for Nick Popovich. Bryce ran off the Funderburg screen, right back to 0 for the dunk.
That's pretty. I mean, what a play by C.J. Bryce coming off that ball screen, draw out the big, and then little dump ball pass for Funderburg. Excellent execution.
Cuts the deficit back to single digits. Wow, what a collision there. And here's Popovich. Jim Christian not happy. Kevin Keats ain't exactly crazy with what's going on here either.
Well, when are coaches really ever happy in a game?
Daniels knocks down his 4th field goal. He's got 9. That's a fair point, by the way.
Until it's over and there's a W next to their name.
Daniels has 9. Remember, he tied his career high with 23 the other night in the win at Syracuse. Thornton for Felder. He'll launch. And the rebound pulled away by Bryce. CJ. Well, Beverly's got to get on track if NC State wants to get going here too, right, Malcolm?
Yeah, both teams without critical guys. Markel Johnson out for NC State, and then Stephon Mitchell on the bench for Boston College in foul trouble.
Baseline Funderburg. And they scramble inside, and finally BC controls it. Jarius Hamilton coming toward the top of your screen across the way. He's hobbling a little bit, wearing jersey number 1 for BC, and there's a turnover by the Eagles. And in to replace Hamilton, but here's Nick Popovich.
Yeah, it looked like Heath got caught up in the air. Popovich, though, heads up play, giving him a passing lane, and then the quick jump hook. And then C.J. Bryce, beautiful pass. Funderburg with the finish. And I think they're going to need more of that. NC State, run your offense through C.J. Bryce. Either put him in the ball screen situation or put him down low in the block against the smaller guards of Boston College.
7-point game, almost 7 minutes gone, second half. NC State trying to win their 3rd straight road game. In their last 3. Last time they won 3 straight games on the road in consecutive efforts. 1974.
Wow, I was 2 years old.
I was a little older than that. Just a touch, 8. I tell you what, though, the thing you need to know about 1974, no surprise that team won 3 straight on the road. That was David Thompson, Tommy Burleson, Monty Tao, Mo River, Tim Stoddard for the great Norm Sloan.
Your memory bank off. I know.
Oh, I can go deeper than that, too.
I know. We've
I'll
been
give you
down
Phil
this
Spence
road.
and Mark Moeller if you want.
That's pretty impressive. I have to give you your credit when credit is due. As we take a look at play right here.
You just ended up calling a hell ball on this.
Yeah, a lot of contact.
Yeah, just a hell ball. After the Beverly turnover a moment ago. We've had an exchange of turnovers. That's why the ball game is still 7 points. Here's Heath out of the corner. Missed the backside, and the rebound for Daniels. NC State is still within distance here at 7. Can't get it to 5 on the miss. And Malcolm have not really generated any momentum offensively.
No, they haven't. And again, I'm going to go back to my earlier point. I think, look, Bryce should probably touch the ball, get him isolated, unless it's in transition off of a turnover. See if you can get him a touch on every offensive set.
Heath going to work, the runner, and the foul. And it'll be on Beverly. Braxton Beverly's first. That's 5 on the Wolfpack. And Jay Heath, the 2-time Metro Washington Player of the Year, will go to the line. He's got 12 in the ball game. And the free throw no good. Don't forget ACC basketball continues. Presented by Geico. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock is start time at the Tucker Center in Tallahassee. Number 8, Florida State and Pittsburgh. Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, and Katie George will be there for our coverage here on ACC Network. Heath got the back end. 5.5, 13 in the ball game. He's almost to that magic number. BC's had Jay Heath scored 15 or more 9 times. They're 7-2. Foul line for Helms. Daniels with 13 to shoot, working against Thornton. Bates trying to help with a screen. Williams played off. Daniels tried to skip it to Beverly, knocked out of bounds by Felder with 6 on the shot clock. That'll get us to a timeout. 11:44 to go. BC with a 8-point lead. Well, you see the deficit is 8 for the Wolfpack. They'll have the ball, and here's where the standings are with the ball game tonight, Malcolm.
Yeah, huge implications. We talked about this at the top. This is really a huge game for both teams. NC State and Boston College, a chance to improve their position in the ACC standings.
Inside, here's Helms, fouled and one. Jericho Helms now with 12 in the game.
This is just a big-time offensive rebound putback. That's what you call a grown man move right there. The flex afterwards, and that is huge. You've been talking about it, Wes, the struggles offensively for NC State, in particular from beyond the arc, 1 to 13. Below 10% for the game. And sometimes you're just going to have to generate offense like that, whether it's on the offensive glass or through turnovers and getting out in transition when you're struggling shooting.
5-point game. Trying to work against the zone. Heath launches and hits. 16 now for Heath in the ball game. That's his 3rd triple of the night. Lead to 8. Helms backing down Felder. And a foul will be called on the freshman. It'll be his 3rd, 4 on.
Can't break down the zone any better that time. Excellent interior passing, 2 bigs to bigs, and Felder with the nice kick back out to a wide open Heath.
Jarris Hamilton, it's a bang. He banged knees. And the word from Nick Galato, the Boston College trainer, is he will return as Daniels gives NC State another opportunity for an and one. And the foul will be ticketed to Kamari Williams. And almost as if he heard me, here is Jarris Hamilton.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get back in the game. I think for this reason right here, defensively. Again, that's just a big-time move by Devin Daniels, and I think a heads-up play as well, too. A lot of times, guys get into a funk from beyond the arc in a game, and they continue to try to force. That time, Daniels not hesitating, driving the ball to the basket, getting to the free throw line.
5 again is the difference here, Malcolm. Under 11 to go. Seemingly, NC State's been to the cut the deficit to 5, what, half dozen times, maybe? Popovich, who thought about it? Nights Knicks haven't. I'm surprised he didn't cut it loose. Instead, nicely done. Bates reached in and knocked it away and forced the turnover.
Yeah, excellent post defense that time by Bates in anticipation.
Bryce for Daniels, but it'll be an offensive foul on Bryce as he cut it loose to the corner. It'll be his 2nd, and that is 6 on NC State.
Well, I count that now 3 times in the second half. Offensive fouls taken by Boston College right here. Thornton moving over. I mean, it's one of those where obviously he's coming forward. It's such a tough. We have the luxury of slow motion, and in the 3rd now, that's
3rd offensive foul of the half. You're right. On NC State, and there's one as NC State's ticketed on the drive here by Thornton.
Yeah, that's a great.
Oh, that's blocked out of bounds.
Yeah, that's just out of bounds again. Bates again with great timing. You can see, it's easy to see why he's the leading shot blocker in the ACC. Excellent timing and using his length.
5-point game. Hamilton. 2 to shoot. Popovich went off in his hand. Shot clock violation. And that will send it back to the Wolfpack.
Well, they've been at 5 a few times. You said it, Wes. I think right here, obviously a huge possession. See if they can get this thing down to 3.
Bryce for more than that. Rattled out. Thornton. Heath, and now Felder. Popovich again. Bothered and blocked by Bates. Here's Beverly, who's scoreless. Helms working against Hamilton. Beverly takes Hamilton on the drive and draws the foul. Second on Hamilton, 6 now on Boston College.
And right here, Bates, that's just a great recovery. Popovich looking for the foul, and then NC State doing a nice job pushing the pace. Again, getting to the free throw line. Wes, we talked about this coming out after free throws for NC State. They were unable to get there, and now in this last really 3 to 4 minute stretch, it seems like they're living at the free throw line.
That is just the 5th miss of the year in 25 tries for Braxton Beverly. 83% free throw shooter, and those are his first points of the night. And NC State to within 4. It's the closest they've been since it was 3 at 7-4 early in the game. Here's Heath, blocked again by Bates, and Bryce couldn't control it before it went over the inline. Manny Bates has blocked 4 shots, all in the second half.
Well, when I asked him at shoot-around some of the guys that he likes as shot blockers, he shocked me when he said Dikembe Mutombo. I was like, wow, that's a blast from the past, but he does an excellent job timing it, using his length, and then if you're Jay Heath, again, that's just not going to work trying to hop one over him. He's just too long and too good of a shot blocker.
He hit you with the Yao Ming, too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I said, man, Dikembe blocked quite a few shots of mine in this building air, but
Popovich challenged by Bates, and there's the foul. That'll be the 3rd on the redshirt freshman. 7 on NC State, and Popovich going to get a couple of free throws as a result. But after the dunk by Popovich, 15 in the red has not let it become norm.
and that's how you attack it. Again, I said it in the first, you have to get into a shot blocker's body. Either dunking it like Popovich did in that first half, or try to get it into the body and then float it up over. And that's a nice job by Popovich using his body, trying to get into one of the best shot blockers in college basketball.
One of the 2. Popovich has 12 now. And Stephon Mitchell is back with the 4 fouls and 8:50 to go.
Boston College back in that 2-3 matchup zone.
Kevin Daniels, an unforced error on a low percentage pass across the floor, and BC going to give it right back. And that'll get Helms in the ball game. So Jericho Helms will check in. And he's coming for Manny Bates. So Funderburk and Bates were playing together now, just DJ Funderburk against this zone.
Well, you're NC State, you have to get the ball to that high post area or foul line area.
2-pointer for Bryce. And now the Pack to within 3 for the first time since early in the ballgame.
That's beautiful execution against the zone.
Heath trying to get around Beverly. And it bounced away for Funderburk. Under 8 we go, Malcolm.
Boston College out of that zone, down back in man-to-man.
Beverly all the way to the basket, can't finish it. Popovich the rebound, Hamilton ahead. Helms is there, offensive foul on Jarius Hamilton. That's 7 on Boston College, no free throws on player control. 7:43 to play at Conte Forum. 3-point lead for Jim Christian's team. Well, NC State's to within 3 for the first time since early in the game, and a lot of it has to do with Manny Bates here in the second half.
Well, he's impacting the game with his defense and on the offensive glass in this game. He's got 3 blocks, but you might as well give him 6 or 7 because there have been shots that he has impacted that he has not gotten credit for a block. And You talked with Coach Keats about some of his throwbacks.
He mentioned Bates as being a throwback, and I said, well, who else in the league's a throwback? And he clicked off with Bisa Beatty in a heartbeat, then threw Stephon Mitchell of Boston College in the mix, and then capped it with John Mooney. And he said, when I see you again, I'll have 2 or 3 more. He said, there are a lot of guys here who don't care what their scoreline is. They want to win the game, and they want to do everything they can to help their team win, and that's how he identifies throwbacks.
Every team needs one, and, you know, Manny Bates really, again, he just raved about how he impacts the game with his defense and doesn't care about what his stat line looks in terms of points. He just wants his team to win.
Devin Daniels, his 5th turnover of the night. That ball will be scored as it's slapped off the glass by Funderburk, and the foul. So the basket will count. And here's the foul on, I believe, is it Devin Daniels? So Devin Daniels draws his first. It's the 8th on NC State. Score the field goal for Thornton. And now a chance to complete the 3-point play and push it back to a 6-point advantage.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good play. I'm not sure that ball was going to go in. It looked like it was going to be short, but Funderburk with the goaltend and Derek Thornton with the 3-point play.
Here's Johnson up top for Funderburk. Ellam's trying to size up Popovich. There's the lob for Funderburk. Mitchell playing with 4 fouls. Funderburk rolls in and scores off the window. Just the 3rd field goal, though, for DJ Funderburk.
Yeah, but that's great patience that time. Boston College was caught in between whether or not they wanted to double. He waited patiently and then had the nice back down turnaround jumper.
4-point game, 6.5 to play. Heath. Oh, wow, Popovich got a clean screen set on Helms. Now he'll take the pass from Thornton. Spin out on the 3. Markel Johnson leads the NC State break. Helms feeds Funderburk for the dunk. 8 for Funderburk, a Jim Christian timeout. NC State now to within 2 with 6:18 to play.
You cannot run the fast break any better off of the defense right here. Unselfish basketball. Funderburk with the finish. We got a 2-point game.
Well, 2-point lead for Boston College. Eagles will have the ball as we rejoin you from Chestnut Hill. Kevin Keats' team has shot 55% from the floor here in the second half. And that's equated to 11 of 20. BC's had 6 turnovers. A lot of it has been forced by NC State zone. Here's Popovich going the length of the floor, and he missed it. And now the Wolfpack can tie or lead since very early in this ball game, Malcolm.
They've done a great job hanging around and their calling cards defensively. And you talked about the turnovers. They've done a nice job creating offense with their D.
Funderburk to rebound, the Helms miss. Stick back no good. Banged out for Popovich. And Thornton slowed down enough for DJ Funderburk to ride his back for a 2nd foul and the 9th on the Wolfpack. Well, the stakes for NC State, a win tonight, they would be a game behind Virginia in the ACC standings. Remember, they beat the Cavaliers a couple of weeks ago. A win by BC, they move up a notch in the ladder. But for Kevin Keats and NC State, with 2 Duke games and a Florida State game coming up in their calendar, you don't want to give one away, especially a road game. Free throw by Thornton is good. Derek Thornton's now hit 6-7 in a row at the line. And a quick reminder to you, we got a women's basketball doubleheader for you. Clemson Syracuse from the Dome starts our coverage at 6. Number 4 NC State, who's now lost 2 straight, visits Miami at 8 o'clock here on ACC Network. Thornton has been really good at the line tonight, and he's pushed the lead back to 4 with 5.5 to play. Bryce kicks for Johnson. Skip into the corner. Little low for Beverly's liking. 8 to shoot. Here's Bryce with Thornton defending. 4 to shoot. 3, 2, spotting for 3. Back rim miss. Funderburk the rebound and foul. If this is on Mitchell, it's 5. It's on Popovich. It's his first and 8 on Boston College.
Well, great work by Funderbank. Boston College iced the ball screen that time. Excellent D. They did everything except finish the play off. And Mitchell making sure, he's like, hey, that was not on me.
I don't know if Stefan's in pre-law, but that's good litigation, right?
He walked away from that one, but Funderburk with the first free throw. Really impressed with both guys, Bates and Funderbank, with their activity on the offensive glass.
All right, now I know you shoot it and can still shoot it, but I want you to watch the ball here leave the hand of DJ Funderburk on this free throw. Side-to-side rotation.
At the end of the day,
it goes in the hoop.
It goes in the hoop.
But I know shooters like you got to cringe a little.
No, the mechanics weren't that bad, though. I was looking for, you know, again, that's not that bad. For a big, soft touch. And obviously 2 big free throws for NC State.
Under 5 to play, and Bryce knocked it away. Thornton back to his feet with it. 10 to shoot for the Eagles, and Heath on the drive off the window. Popovich the rebound and the stick back. 14 now for Nick Popovich. 4-point game again. Helms for Bryce. All the way to the basket. Foul on Popovich. That'll be his second. 9 on Boston College.
Right here, Heath with the high runner. Popovich on the glass. It's just been that type of game in the second half. Back and forth. Both teams doing a nice job on the offensive glass. Bryce, though, with 2 big free throws.
Too strong. Senior from Charlotte, C.J. Bryce. Started his career at UNC Wilmington, where he played for Kevin Keats, then sat out as a transfer in Keats' first year in Raleigh. A year ago against the league, averaged 12 points. And he's right at that number again this year against the ACC. 7.5, 15 in the game. It's a 3-point game with just better than 4 to play. Heath for Popovich. Bates defending. Back inside, missed it. Manny Bates bothered that one too. Malcolm.
Absolutely. Just, again, he is so good at bothering and blocking shots.
Markel Johnson, who, by the way, has 1 field goal in the ball game. 4 turnovers and 2 assists in just 14 minutes of action. Daniels shoots and hits. Tie game on a 3 by Devin Daniels.
Markel Johnson. Again, the decision-making right there to close out the game. Unselfish play, beautiful skip pass for a wide open 3.
Tie game with 3:25 to play. Heath, a step back 3. Rebound for Johnson. Markel spinning away from Thornton for the layup. NC State's first lead of the ball game since it was 4-2, 2 minutes in.
Well, the last 2 plays, Markel Johnson right here, though, put him in the spin cycle with the beautiful finish. NC State up 2.
Wolfpack's in front, and a couple sensational plays by Kevin Keats' team.
Yeah, Markel Johnson right here, a beautiful cross-court pass, wide open 3, and then right here, tied up, put him in the spin cycle. Beautiful finish by Markel Johnson. He's been quiet throughout this game, but those are 2 big plays, and I know this young man's father is smiling down in heaven. Markel wears that chain in honor of his father, Mark Thomas, who passed away in 2016. And again, remarkable story. And he is so key to what North Carolina State does on offense. And
well, it's been a struggle tonight for him. You know that. Lifted early in the first half because of some turnovers. And there is Thornton fouled on the deck before the basket, says Jeff Clark. Foul is on Bates. It's his fourth. 10 on the Wolfpack.
Well, I talked about how Derek Thornton, he's a righty. He shoots with the right, but a lot of times you'll see him go and finish with his left hand around the basket. Again, that time, take the hit and another left-handed layup finish.
Thornton is now 10 for 10 at the line. Don't forget, following us here at Conte Forum, nothing but net tonight. A preview of the week ahead in ACC basketball. A look back at highlights and insight and analysis from Dallin Cuff, Luke Hancock, and Carlos Boozer. Kelsey Riggs officiates the process, if you will. She had to keep Cornette and Huckabee in their neutral corners earlier this week, I noted. Zone for BC, tie game at 66. Daniels for Bryce, a three for the lead is too strong, and Thornton the rebound. NC State has 3 timeouts left. Boston College has 1. .210 to go. Shot clock at 10. Popovich in traffic, pushed it up. They slap it around. Popovich the rebound, flung it up. Mitchell the follow. He's fouled. The foul will be on Funderburk. It's his third. 2 shots for Stephon Mitchell, who is 56% at the line, and these will be his first of the night.
Well, Mitchell was a concern. We talked to Coach Keats this afternoon about keeping Mitchell off the offensive glass. That's something that he does. Again, he's one of those throwback guys he talked about where he's not a guy that's going to do a lot in terms of shooting threes and off the dribble, but he is really good on the offensive glass.
Mitchell only 3 points in the ball game. It was a first half triple. And the free throw no good. The thing about his free throw percentage at 56%, the form is pretty good.
Yeah. And you take a look, though, at his stats. Again, he does a lot of little things. The leader in steals in the ACC, close to 3 per game, and able to get the second free throw to go down to give BC a 1-point lead.
Timeout for Kevin Keats. Well, NC State, who trailed by as many as 12 in the first half, and the Wolfpack going to push it to a full timeout, finds themselves down 1 now with 1:57 to go. They'll have 2 timeouts. The next foul by Boston College will be, of a common foul, will be 2 shots for the Wolfpack. And the stakes for Kevin Keats, well, we told you what's ahead, but here's where they are tonight, according to Joe Lunardi and his bracketology. First 4 out. Minnesota lost earlier today. Arizona State is playing tonight against Cal. They had a lead at last report. A win tonight by the Wolfpack keeps them trending up with 2 games against Duke within 12 days and 1 next Saturday with Florida State.
Yeah, and obviously it starts tonight. This is one they have to have on the road against Boston College. But you take a look at, if you want to call that a schedule, I call it a gauntlet. They got Duke, Florida State, at North Carolina, Pitt, and then you go back on the road to Duke. Really, again, there are no easy outs in the ACC, but that right there, I would say, is a pretty tough finish for NC State.
By the way, Arizona State now up 9 at Cal with under a minute to go. You also don't see their regular season finale, their pair of Friday night games that'll close the regular season in the ACC before Saturday's full schedule. And NC State will host Wake Forest in Raleigh on that Friday night. But of the moment, down 1 with under 2 to go and out of the timeout. Helms will put it in play. BC only has the 1 timeout left, Malcolm.
Let's see where NC State goes. Again, I like the matchup with C.J. Bryce.
Johnson for Helms. He'll shoot for the lead. Off the rim. Daniels tried to get to it. Bounces out. And it will belong to the Eagles. Helms couldn't have gotten a better look.
No, I mean, again, you can't ask for a better and actually more wide open look. Excellent dribble penetration by Markel Johnson. Kick back out. And I mean, I don't think there's anybody within 5 to 6 feet of Helms.
Wolfpack is 2 of 18 tonight from 3. 1-point lead, 95 seconds left. 36% of ACC games this year have been 5 or less or overtime, Malcolm. Here's Thornton. 10 to shoot, and he picked up on the dribble. Popovich lost it. Daniels scoops up the turnover. Got to find Bryce here, don't you?
Yeah, I think he needs to get a touch.
Johnson had it kicked away, stolen by Mitchell. Here is Hamilton for the dunk. Three-point game. Helms attacking. Hamilton took the fall. Helms scores. Timeout for the Wolfpack. Jericho Helms cuts it to 1 at 69-68.
Excellent answer and patience by NC State. Again, a lot of teams, again, that would panic in that situation, try to shoot a three. Excellent defense, though, by Boston College. The leader in steals in the ACC, Stephon Mitchell, and then Hamilton off to the race. Good no call by the ref. Excellent patience by NC State. Helms with the soft touch. And Wes, you talked about it, all these close games to finish. Guard play is so key to close out these games, and having a player, your playmaker, make a play and make the right read.
You look at this, NC State has 2 timeouts, or 1 timeout. BC has 1 timeout. The next Boston College foul, 2 shots for the Wolfpack. Double bonus already in play. You see the possession arrow belongs to NC State. They're going to get in the backcourt here. I'm interested to see how BC handles the early stages of this possession.
Well, obviously key, now that NC State has extended, get it in, and then I'm saying put Popovich in a high ball screen situation with either Heath or Thornton, and then let them make a play.
There's Popovich on the screen. Heath in the corner to Mitchell, 15 to shoot. With 10 to shoot, Thornton out near the timeline. Fall away right side. Rebound Daniels, trying to head the other way. Daniels slices through traffic, had it batted out of there. Helms will scoop it up, tried to save it to Johnson, and it's stolen by Mitchell, and Hamilton the dunk with 8 seconds left. Front court comes the pack. Timeout, Kevin Keats. It's a 3-point game with 6.5 seconds left, and Keats thought that Mitchell stepped out of bounds across the way in front of the scorer's table.
Yeah, and that, he is livid. Now, obviously, we can't see it from our angle, but it looked like Kevin Keats, Coach Keats, was standing right there. Obviously, from his vantage point, he could see clearly what was going on, and he was livid. Again, right here, excellent D by Heath. Loose ball, get down on the ground. And, oh, yeah. Now, again, the key thing is, was his...
He can't touch it, go out, come back and touch it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see from this angle right here. Yeah, he's clearly
out of bounds, and he touches it again.
Yeah, he's clearly out of bounds.
They're across the floor looking at Tim Clockerty and Kip Kissinger. And this may have to do with the clock as well as the play by Stephon Mitchell.
Man, what a frantic.
Well, you wondered almost why Jericho Helms did not call timeout when he recovered the ball instead of trying to give it to Markel Johnson, because NC State had 1 timeout left.
Credit Stephon Mitchell, the leader in steals in the ACC. Again, it looked like Johnson was open right here on the floor, and Mitchell comes up with the steal.
That's it. You cannot review the out-of-bounds play. And NC State is asking about the out-of-bounds play. The out-of-bounds part cannot be reviewed. Now, Boston College seeing 0.6 of a second put back on the clock. Now, Jim Christian, are you going to let NC State shoot a three?
No, I think you got to foul.
They're two. By the way, they're 2 for 18 tonight. And Braxton Beverly's on the floor. And he's missed all 4 of his tries. Markel Johnson is yet to attempt one. Bryce is 0 for 5. Beverly, we told you, the only 2 guys to hit one are Helms and Daniels. In for Johnson. 3-point lead for BC. Bryce into the corner. Fall away 3. No good. Boston College wins the game. BC beats North Carolina State 71-68.
Well, the execution at the end just wasn't there. Markel Johnson made a pass into the paint. And obviously NC State in that situation needs a 3.
Our Zaxby's player of the game is the California grad student Derek Thornton, 22 points. 5 of 11 from the floor, but Malcolm, he was perfect at the strike.
Yeah, and I think it was the start. The start that he and also Jay Heath got Boston College out to in the first half, I think, was key in this game. NC State hung around, came back, but right here again, Markel Johnson, you need a 3 in that situation. You're making a pass into the paint. You either have to try to make a move on your own. That's just taking off too much time, and a really poor execution to close that game out by NC State.
71-68 the final. The Eagles go to 13-13 on the year, 7-8 in league play. NC State, tough loss. They're 7-7 tonight, 16-9 overall. Great to be with our producer Rick Walenzik. Will Bilkey, our director. Malcolm Huckabee, enjoyed it, my friend. Sit tight. ACC Network studio. Kelsey Riggs standing by, and nothing but net.